Mr. President, I rise today to talk about a constituent of mine. Ilsa is a 23-year-old graduate of the University of Washington who works at Seattle Children's Hospital and is studying to become a nurse. She has faced a lot of challenges in her 23 years, not the least of which was being diagnosed with cancer when she was a teenager, going through treatment and working to put herself through college. And if the outstanding costs of cancer treatment were difficult enough for her, the fact that Ilsa was brought to the United States by her mother when she was 6 months old as an undocumented immigrant makes navigating our healthcare system even harder. Ilsa persevered through her cancer treatment. She worked her way through high school with an impressive list of extracurriculars and went on to earn a scholarship that eventually got her to the front steps of her dream school, the University of Washington. Now, when I met Ilsa back in 2013, she told me that after 15 years of waiting for her petition to obtain a visa, she lost the opportunity to obtain legal residency when she turned 21 years old. But thanks to the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals policy, or DACA, she had a second chance. She said she doesn't know where she would be right now without that second chance. She told me that DACA opened doors that were previously closed to her. And thanks to the increased certainty DACA brought and the amazing work ethic she has, Ilsa was able to find jobs that helped her pay her way through school. Today, she's able to continue to pursue her dream of helping others as a nurse and build a life in Washington State, her home. I'm happy to report that Ilsa has now been cancer-free for over 14 years. So while I rise to talk about Ilsa, I also want to celebrate DACA. Three years ago this week, Americans celebrated an historic step forward in protecting young, undocumented immigrants known as dreamers, people like Ilsa. When DACA was enacted, the national dialogue and immigration policy forever changed. The administration's announcement that America is not a place that will deport someone who plays by the rules, but through no fault of their own is an undocumented immigrant, someone who's known no other home than the United States, someone who is an American all but name. This was a major step toward changing the lives of so many immigrant families. During the past 3 years, more than 600,000 young immigrants have benefited from deferred action. And in my home state of Washington, almost 15,000 dreamers have been able to receive the stability and peace of mind that DACA brought. Too often in this debate, it's difficult for some people to understand that millions of undocumented families in our country are already an important part of our community. Immigrants, documented or not, work hard. They send their children to schools throughout this country. They pay their taxes and they help weave the fabric of our society. In all but name, they are Americans, and America would not be the same without them. Despite the steps this administration has taken, only legislation from Congress can solve the underlying problem of a very broken immigration system. So I'm here today to say I stand ready to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to achieve that. Because until Congress truly passes a comprehensive immigration reform, I'm going to continue working each day to help the families and businesses, people like Ilsa, who are trapped by a broken system. We must never forget the past and the fact that our nation has long offered generations of immigrants the chance to achieve their dreams. Ilsa is no different. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.